In the unfathomable silence of deep space, where no planet spins and no sun shines, something moved. It was not the lazy drift of space debris, tumbling endlessly through the void. It was not the frozen elegance of a comet tracing its slow, inevitable arc through the darkness. No, this was movement with intent. Movement that seemed to have somewhere to go, something to do. And the strangest part? It was detected not by one of the modern marvels of astrophysics, not by the billion-dollar observatories with their polished mirrors the size of houses, nor by the sophisticated AI-driven survey satellites that map the skies with mechanical perfection. No, this was spotted by a messenger from another time, Voyager 2. A relic from the late 1970s, born in an age when computers still relied on magnetic tape and engineers calculated trajectories on paper. Voyager 2 has been drifting far beyond the boundaries of the solar system for decades. It is a survivor, one of the last functioning artifacts of the first great era of planetary exploration. And yet, against all odds, this aged probe, with its ancient circuitry and antennas worn by the years, has just picked up something so strange, so wildly out of place, that some scientists now question whether our understanding of the universe has been fundamentally incomplete all along. Because Voyager didn't just notice a faint blip or a harmless fluctuation in the cosmic background. It captured an anomaly, an object or entity moving with a rhythm and a precision that defy the random chaos of nature. It moved as though it knew where it was going. As though it chose each course correction. So what is it? A rogue anomaly? Some fragment of the universe behaving in ways we've never seen before? A new, undiscovered form of cosmic matter? Or, could it be something not born of stars and dust, but of design, something artificial? Voyager 2's instruments are primitive by today's standards, clunky analog sensors running on processors slower than the cheapest modern wristwatch. But perhaps that's why it noticed something others missed. It was one of these instruments, the plasma wave detector, that first caught the trace. It began as a whisper, a faint, low-frequency pulse threading its way through the silence. Then came flickers, irregular bursts, each separated by moments of stillness. Directional shifts followed, as though the source itself were altering course, almost probing. And finally came the sustained pattern, a signal that refused to fade into static. But here's the part that made researchers stop and stare. This detection didn't come from within the heliosphere, the turbulent bubble of space where our sun's wind and magnetic fields shape the environment. Inside that bubble, solar radiation, cosmic rays, and gravitational disturbances can make instruments chatter with false readings. But this came from beyond. It came from the great silence past the heliopause, out in true interstellar space. This is a place that should be cold, still, and utterly featureless. A place where background noise is a faint hiss and nothing moves unless flung by ancient forces. To hear a signal here is like hearing a human voice in the middle of the Sahara Desert. Common explanations were quickly ruled out. It was not an asteroid belt, no debris fields exist this far out. It was not a comet, the signature lacked the ion tail and volatile emissions that betray one. It was not a gravitational quirk or a rogue patch of dust. Whatever this was, it moved. It shifted direction. It altered its frequency, as though aware of its own trajectory, and possibly aware of Voyager itself. The deeper the data was analyzed, the stranger the picture became. The signal didn't just move, it responded. Whenever Voyager adjusted its orientation, sometimes to point its antenna toward Earth, sometimes to calibrate for other readings, the anomaly seemed to react. The timing was too precise to be coincidence. Some scientists began to whisper, feedback. It was as though the object was aware that it was being observed. Its behavior resembled that of a probe scanning its surroundings. And yet, no known propulsion system could work so cleanly in the vast emptiness of interstellar space, not chemical, not solar, not nuclear, without leaving behind a signature. There was no exhaust plume, no detectable radiation trail, no energy leakage at all. Even more perplexing were the modulations. Natural waves, be they electromagnetic or gravitational, follow predictable, mechanical rhythms. But this pattern pulsed in timed intervals, each burst slightly different from the last, as if carrying an evolving message. It was like a cosmic Morse code, or perhaps something stranger, something we don't yet have the linguistic tools to decipher. Theories multiplied. Could Voyager 2 have stumbled across an ancient construct adrift in the void, a relic from some forgotten civilization? Could it be an advanced technology built from materials and principles beyond human comprehension? Some dared to suggest something more ominous, a cloaked reconnaissance device, silently watching from the darkness. Of course, skepticism fought back. Some researchers suggested the possibility of a naturally occurring plasma phenomenon, one that had somehow developed a feedback loop, responding to electromagnetic stimuli almost like a rudimentary form of intelligence. But even this stretched the limits of known physics. What was clear to everyone was that this didn't belong in any existing category of cosmic phenomena. If it was natural, it was a new kind of natural. If it was artificial, then we had just glimpsed something that could change everything. And then there was its location. Voyager 2 currently drifts through the local interstellar cloud, a vast, nearly empty region of space. In this void, matter is so thin that a few atoms per cubic centimeter is considered dense. For anything to move here with apparent purpose, it must either be generating its own energy, or riding on some kind of current that we have yet to detect. And it was not traveling in a straight line. Its path curved, paused, adjusted, movements consistent with course correction. Random turbulence could not explain such deliberate motion. Some researchers now suspect that Voyager might have crossed into an unseen field, something akin to a detection grid. In this scenario, the anomaly may not have been wandering aimlessly at all, it may have been waiting. Voyager's passage through this region could have tripped a kind of cosmic tripwire. If true, this would mean Voyager didn't just observe something strange, it may have activated it. Then came a detail that sent shivers through the research teams. Within the anomaly's movement data, specifically its directional shifts and signal bursts, there were recurring intervals. Not random intervals. Prime numbers. 3, 5, 7. At first, these were dismissed as artifacts, data noise from a battered old spacecraft. But when the signals were subjected to deeper waveform analysis, a pattern emerged, harmonics consistent with structured transmissions. The kind seen in experimental quantum communication systems here on Earth. This was no random drift. This was movement in code. And in the language of physics, when code appears where only chaos should reign, something, or someone, is trying to be noticed. Or worse, trying to track something else. When researchers compared Voyager's new readings to historical mission logs, the puzzle deepened. New Horizons had once suffered unexplained sensor glitches in a region not far from Voyager's current position. Pioneer 10, decades ago, had experienced a subtle but persistent trajectory drift that no one could fully explain. These anomalies had been filed away as oddities, blamed on instrument noise or cosmic interference. Now, viewed together, they looked less like isolated accidents and more like footprints. What if this object has been following us for years, keeping pace with humanity's slow expansion into interstellar space, but always just beyond our observational reach? And what if, for reasons unknown, it has now chosen to reveal itself? On day 49 of continuous monitoring, it made its most dramatic move yet. It stopped. Not slowed, not drifted to a halt. Stopped. Then, over the next 17 hours, it began a slow spiral, a maneuver eerily similar to the calibration patterns used to stabilize telescopes and orbital instruments. To the untrained eye, this might seem random. But to engineers and mission planners, it was unmistakable. The object was adjusting its position with deliberate precision. And then came the pulse. A sharp, controlled spike in low-frequency radiation, tuned so precisely that it tripped one of Voyager's decades-old safety protocols. The spacecraft, following its ancient programming, automatically reoriented its antenna toward the source. The signal stopped. Which raised the most unsettling question yet. Was this object signaling us? And if so, did Voyager just answer? A growing number of scientists now believe the anomaly could be a kind of cosmic gatekeeper, not a ship, not a living creature, but but a sentient construct left here to monitor who passes through this part of the galaxy. Its patterns, pulses, and adaptive behavior suggest something designed to observe, record, and perhaps decide whether to intervene. If so, then the implications are staggering. It means we have not been alone for a very, very long time. It means that our first tentative steps into interstellar space have not gone unnoticed. For decades, Voyager has carried with it a message for the stars, a golden record etched with greetings, music, and hope. Perhaps, in the deep and patient darkness, something has finally heard it. And now, the silence blinks back.